Hey everybody, good to see you again. Welcome to another director's commentary for One with Wolfpack Football. This episode is entitled Faith. So I hope you enjoy. I have faith that you will. That was bad. Anyway, here's the episode. Enjoy.
Ooh, I forgot how this started. Very moody. I dig it. If I remember correctly, I used this song as a theme throughout this episode. It is a choral version of "Nothing Else Matters" by Metallica. And with this episode being about faith, I for the music I wanted to have mimic that, so faith, church, whatever. So I wanted to have kind of a choir sound, this hymnal almost.
Believing in your teammates. It's believing in the process. It's believing in
I wanted to have,
playmaking ability.
this sense of, like Coach Jordan's talking about, belief. Because hell, that's half the battle when you're, a football player, even when you're not, even when you're just trying to accomplish something, is like believing that you can achieve it, that you can accomplish it. And I've always been a big music head, and so I forgot how I ended up on it, but I was just going down a rabbit hole of music. Stumbled upon choral arrangements of pop and rock and, sometimes metal songs. So it's just really cool to stumble upon that. And I forget who the artist is, but yeah, it was really dope. And that comes in, I believe it comes to effect later in the episode as well. Just trying some different stuff. That's half the fun with something like this, is figuring it out as you go, and also just implementing things you want to, stuff you feel good about, trying different things. And so music has always been a big part of making stuff for me. So as I got more comfortable with making these episodes, I was like, let's twist up the music a little bit, for lack of a better term. So yeah, here we go. Faith. I think this is our Florida State episode. Let's see what this text says. Yep, going down to Tallahassee. Man, you cannot read that text very well. That's on me. My bad. Tallahassee is an interesting state capital.
For us, some unknowns maybe that you wouldn't have this time of the year. I mean, I think we've had a chip on our shoulder since week 7 of last season, to be honest with you. I think
historically, NC State and Florida State, either the game goes incredibly close, or it ends up being completely one-sided. So I was hoping that it would be a close game for this episode based on faith. I do have specific moments that I remember from this episode, mainly from the game, and I'm excited to talk about that once we get to it.
My frustration for anything with these kids, they work really hard. They're great kids, and I want them to
it's really, you hear coaches talk about their players, their kids, their team working really hard, and they, deserve everything that comes to them as long as they work hard. And that's true. And a lot of them say it, and so you hear it and you're like, okay, so do they all work hard? And actually, yeah. Being out of practice, seeing how hard everyone works is it's 100% accurate. They're out there busting their asses to try and accomplish what they want to accomplish.
keep doing it until it becomes muscle memory, and that's something that we try to do.
Muscle memory. Big fan of muscle memory when it comes to
they don't have to think, they can just react.
anything, whether it's football, whether it's making this show, just remembering how things go. Oh, every time NC State played Florida State, NC State would blast their fight song, their war chant at practice. The goal is to have the players get so tired of it, they prevent it they prevent the band from playing that song. Channel the Rage. It's Coach Eddie Faulkner.
It's going to require work ethic. It's going to require people being accountable.
One of the nicest dudes I've met in the coaching circuit. He's super quiet. He keeps to himself, but he's very nice. He's very polite. He's very accommodating, very friendly.
Don't go across the ball. Keep it on your right shoulder, man. If coach is the ball, I'm running. It's right here the whole time. And then you got
his group is always very tight because as a special teams coordinator, like you are in charge of the special teams. That's a big unit. But when it comes to like tight ends and fullbacks, that's a small unit. Like there's not that many players in that group. And so inherently that group gets really close. I mean, they all get close, but you could really feel it with him and the players that were in his position group. You could feel how close they were. You could feel the chemistry was tight.
You want to do good. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you're jumping in, you're pressing. Just relax and play. You see what I'm saying? Just relax. All you gotta, there's no superhuman effort needed, man. It really isn't.
Now,
All I need you to do is what
a lot of folks,
you understand what I'm saying?
what a lot of shows might do, all access shows, and they have somebody mic'd up. Sometimes that there's not actually a person listening constantly to what is being said over that mic. And it's running through kind of this, like a sound board, a sound mixer. For me, and the minimal workflow we had on the show, both from personnel and budget and availability, these microphones are plugged directly into our camera. And so as I'm filming, I am actively hearing everything that he is saying, which helps out a lot. So I can, like, if I hear something important happening and I happen to be like on the opposite side of the field for some reason, I'll just bust my ass. I'll run to the other side of the field to try and get as close as possible and cover what's happening. Also, it's a lot of fun because sometimes they forget they have the mic on and end up laughing at something they say.
Everybody got what I'm saying? That's on both fields today. All right, where's AC at? Let's go, AC.
UKU.
We are.
There we go.
I'll tell you what UKU means. That's something.
First rule of UKU.
What it stands for brother.
Don't talk about I don't know what it means. I don't have any insight. I didn't sign an NDA or anything. I legitimately don't know what it stands for.
And I'm like, oh, okay. Well, if you're that bought into it, you know what I mean? Let's do it. UKU.
I was not a part of this group. I did not get a tattoo. I got close to a lot of people, but not close enough.
All right, here we go. Oh.
Sean Boone.
Yeah.
He's an entertaining cat, have mic'd up. Super nice guy, always chatting to people.
Have faith in the game plan. You won't even play with
And I believe
For me, I have
we picked Sean Boone for this episode because
faith in what
his family is from Florida, and
all the other coaches is teaching them. Rest of
it seemed kind of like an obvious connection, you know.
there, you line
Going to the week you go to Florida State, interview somebody whose family might be from Florida, and in the first year trying to figure it out, like I'm like, oh, that's a connection. Yeah, let's go ahead and do that. But not really thinking about what that actually means. So there might have been like another better connection, or there might have been something worse. But what I think we got out of this interview was good,
within me and myself.
as you'll see.
Talking to my parents back home, just waiting your turn, being patient, and just having faith.
The more I shot these interviews, I've talked about lighting before, and how not a fan of it in the first season. But a lot of with the framing, I played around with the framing. Sometimes stuff would be wider, sometimes it'd be tighter. Really was just trying to find the right balance of stuff.
Strong in the pain, and they just said it. Our roof in the back part of our house, in the family room, just came in.
So talking about dealing with
That you can't really
hurricane,
can't control, but
him and his family dealing with a hurricane. The footage that I showed there,
when we learned that the storm was
that's actually
too
a picture from his family's house. The footage earlier is news footage from a station down in Florida.
But I was still a little worried because you have no idea what a storm.
You want to be careful with stuff like that. Like,
Especially
I never wanted to make
It's been in. I've been in it since I was little.
like
Ever since I was born.
destitution. Is that a word? Destitute, destitute porn. Like I didn't want to like show stuff that for I don't never want to exploit somebody's.
Back again. So it was just one of those.
I never wanted to exploit things that happen in someone's life. That's not what I want to do. I want to maybe shine a light on it and give it justice, but I don't want to exploit it. Like I mentioned earlier, in a previous episode about don't treat it as gold. Don't treat background as gold, as currency. Here's another version of that song. Nothing Else Matters. This might be two cellos, I think. Don't quote me on that. Might be. That's Tony Haynes, my other producer, talking there.
Probably not. I mean, it's going to be loud. It's going to be a bunch of people that are cheering against us. It's going to be hot. Not many people do
It's
it.
really fun diving down the rabbit hole of just covers of songs
Incredible win rate
where
at home.
the genre
You've got to really be
of the cover is different from the original song, like vastly different. So going from a metal song to finding a choral cover to finding a orchestral cover. It's just really neat to find how much character can be brought out in a different version of the same song, whether it's instrumentation, whether it's vibe, whatever. Oh, Aaron Henry coming up. You saw and heard from him in the last episode. Getting emotional. So this music is very like melodic, it's flowing, it's slow. And so time lapses, slow motion footage, really the music and that footage, they go together. It's like peanut butter and jelly, man. Like they add a little something to it. Oh, I love that shot. Oh, I'm proud of that shot. Could have been steadier, but the framing of it and the contrast, that was with all the lights off in the locker room except one in the hallway. I was a fan of that. And here we go. Game time.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Tallahassee. Thanks for tuning in. It's a pleasure to have you with us on a warm, sunny, and humid day here
In Florida. Yep. Florida is hot and humid all the time.
And we're here for the Wolfpack's
I've been to Florida once when it's cold.
It's going to be a challenging one.
Yeah.
The opponent is 12th-ranked Florida State. The Seminoles were the
So this was a big deal.
to win the conference title. Pack coming on a blitz.
Florida State was nationally ranked, top 15.
But he can't get away from two defenders. He's
Nobody had really been talking about NC State that much. And it's just always fun to go down there and
Here comes a blitz. Pack picks it up. Here's a throw.
play well and surprise people.
At the 49. Screen pass left side.
Super bright day. I think we as a camera crew we're still getting used to how bright footage can be. So some of this is a little overexposed.
Is on its way. It's good. 3-0 State.
Would have loved to have corrected that, but it's Dwayne Lifford in the O-line group.
Hands off to Samuels.
I think two of those players in the NFL now.
And it's caught by Parham. Throws over the middle, and the ball is caught by Harmon.
Kelvin was in the last episode we saw.
On the left side, he has running room. To
Man, I
the
got a
10,
lot of people.
To the 5, knocked out of bounds hard.
This was a fun team to cover, especially the first year doing this show.
Samuels getting the ball over the right side. Samuels near the goal line. He is in. He just broke the plane. Touchdown.
Having some fun with the music, a little hard-hitting stuff there.
30-yard line, 35 up the sideline. And the handoff is
So it's basically kind of the song to start off the NC State version of the highlights, and then you want to show some Florida State stuff as well. Switch the music up a little bit, give it a different vibe, especially since this game ends up being super close.
the middle. The ball is caught by Tate again in the pocket.
You want to edit it in a way that it does reflect how close it is.
Spin to the 30-yard line. 25 ball.
One show warning scoring drive, another scoring drive. Nice little defensive highlight, maybe. It's hard to figure out what's going on in this scramble. We got a nice little turnover. The emotion on the sideline, hearing all of it. Again, just letting that moment play out. Oh, I don't. Hold on. Let's see if I forgot if I showed this or not. I don't. Oh, so Jacoby Myers is running toward a touchdown, and he does a front flip into the end zone, and he got a flag thrown on him for it. And so I didn't want to show that in the episode. I mean, yes, it was entertaining, but it resulted in like a penalty, which, you know, this as a principal, they want to showcase a little more discipline than that. So I just didn't end up showing it, but it happened live. It's a highlight all over the place. I'm sure you can Google Jacoby Myers NC State Florida State touchdown flip, and you'll see it. It was impressive. This locker room is so tiny. It's very segmented. Like, it's not a big open room. It's almost like these individual sections and hallways. It's hard to move around and film everything, especially when it's just me in there. Normally, it's just me in a halftime locker room. Something I like to do, and I teach some students this when they're editing, is that if you've got music underneath people talking, if the sound of people talking then goes away and you still want music to play, bring the level of music up a little bit so that overall it's all the same volume. Like, bring the music down if you want to hear what people are saying, bring it up when nobody's talking. And that way nobody's like riding their volume to like turn it up and down and try and hear what's going on. Keeps it more engaging too as well. Some more J-Mac, the producer music, playing right here. Great shot. Great shot. Nice. Fist up, fourth quarter. I think one of my favorite moments is coming up here. Just this stuff on the sideline, hearing what they're saying. It's like it shows that they're in it. It shows that they're believing, they have faith, they're encouraging each other. There's no finger pointing of mistakes or anything like that. It's just like, you know, we got this. We can get it. Little gallop. Little J Sam with a gallop. It's just fun to see people excited. People having fun, doing what they love to do. Oh, yeah, that's what it is. That's one of my favorite moments of Naheem talking right there. I got a little bit of pushback about him talking about, I'm sick of losing in the fourth damn quarter. Mainly from just pointing out that fact that, you know, the NC State teams have had some issues with finishing in the fourth quarter. It doesn't even matter like what coach is it, you know, what team it is, what coach it is. It's just kind of an NC State thing. And for the players to be aware of that and be motivated by that is awesome to see, to be like, we know what has happened. We are not going to let that happen now. It's just a lot of fun to see. So yeah, this was, it was Coach Doran's fourth year, and he had not beaten Florida State. And so that moment right there with BJ Hill, I believe, was acknowledging that fact that they did it. Their senior year, they did it. That's what they wanted to do. That was one of the goals that they had. And, you know, seeing people achieve their goals is dope. Here's Jacoby. I've also gotten some pushback before about showing the team praying. I guess I know why. Personally, I don't, you know, subscribe to any particular faith, but I'm looking beyond the moment of religion, and I'm looking at the aspect of community, the wholeness, the togetherness. It doesn't matter. They could have been not saying a prayer. They could have just been silent, you know? I think just showing that, and then also with the theme of the show, of the episode being faith, I felt it was appropriate. I love those. I couldn't tell if it was sunrise or sunset shots, but I thought they were nice. They looked nice.
And your teammates, believing in the process, believing in the coaches.
So yeah, like Sean said, faith is just a bunch of different stuff that can be applied to anything.
Something that's important to NC State really is the university. I think going back to Jimmy V.
Oh yeah.
You got to understand you never quit.
Any excuse to throw Jim Valvano in there, I'm gonna do it.
That they should if you do that.
It's important, man.
I think
It's NC
way
State
more about building
for the brand, for the culture.
with your players, and it's about the football aspect of it. I mean, that's much
This to me was a really great ending segment because it was almost like what I always wanted to happen with the show. And by the 5th episode, we kind of got it. Like the very end,
players see you live.
let's talk about what the theme
They know they can trust
is literally. Like, what does it mean in soundbite form, basically?
the good teams I played on had more faith and relied more.
Just wrapping everything
more
up.
accountable and put more work into.
And now we've got the
than
a choral version of Nothing Else Matters playing again.
Yeah, of course, those guys. You got to have some talent. You got to have guys who can play. But the ones who play for
I might,
each other, those are the
when
best teams.
Coach Faulkner stops talking, I might just be silent just so I can listen to it. God, that's cool. That gives me chills. I don't know. I don't know about y'all. Yes, give me orchestral music. Give me motivational speeches from BJ Hill. Get me hyped up. Is it possible to want to run through a wall while still being chill? I don't remember if I was padding for time here, but honestly, probably what it was is just I was really digging the flow of the music we were using, and we had such good footage from this game because it was just such an exciting game and some really great emotional moments.
For our guys, they have to understand that as much.
Just letting that play out's a lot of fun, you know? Like you just kind of get engrossed in it.
We're gonna get where we want to end up if we just have faith in the journey.
Oh, Carter Finley, empty shots. Man, I must have been in my bag this day. 100% vibes. Shout out to Austin Gaines. I think Austin Gaines was one of our camera operators, and he captured a lot of the empty stadium footage. Like the bell tower red, y'all.
Thank y'all so much for watching today. You could have been anywhere and you were here, and I appreciate that. If you like what you saw and you have any questions or comments, go ahead and leave them in the comment section. If you want to stay up to date on other episodes of Director's Commentary I drop, as well as some other videos, go ahead and hit subscribe. And if you want to further help me make stuff, go ahead and check out the Patreon link in the description below. Episodes of Director's Commentary drop every Tuesday and Friday, so stay tuned for it. Anyways, thanks again. See you next time.